Macbeth was having a party at his castle. So the king was there, the Prince of Cumberland was there. Now we have evidence pointing to the guard, the king's son, and we also have some evidence against the owner of the castle, the Fianna Fáil. Now, so he's on his bed, obviously. What could have happened was, you see those root marks? What do you think happened?
I think it must have been someone that was strong enough to because it looked like a struggle. It looks like someone tried to choke him to death, but then he got out, and then he got stabbed in the back.
Right.
And do you know whose knife that is?
So the knife is issued to all the guards, but we had placed about 15 guards at the castle at the time.
So then, what are the evidence against the guards?
Well, there's fingerprints of the guard who was outside the king's door at the time on the doorknob, as well as it's that guard's knife, and the shoe prints match the same size of shoe as the guard.
And what evidence do we have against Malcolm, his son?
Well, he had a motive. So if the king died, he would inherit the throne. He was also closest to the king, and he was at the castle at the time. Now there's two footprints, different footprints coming in, but only one leaving.
So then the last one about Macbeth. What do we have to say about Macbeth?
Well, it's his castle, and the cameras that were on at the time, the footage was deleted. So it's a time period from when the king went to bed to when the murder happened. That time period was cut out.
So who's our prime suspect?
Right now, the guard is.
Do we have out of all the 15 guards that were there, do we have any is there a prime guard that we think might have done it?
So there were two guards supposed to be stationed at the king's door. There was only one, and he was found passed out when we arrived on scene.
Passed out as of intoxicated?
He was intoxicated.
Okay.
When we breathalyzed him, he was still at a 3, which means that he was very highly intoxicated the night prior.
And the other guard was nowhere to be found?
Nor to be found. He was downstairs sleeping.
So, do we have any of the suspects in for interrogation?
Not this time.
Not this time.
But we know what the guard is and Malcolm is.
Okay. All right, bring him in.
Let's go. Sit down.
Hostility.
Macbeth, the reason we brought you here today is because we have evidence against you committing the murder of King Duncan.
That you do. Let's see. I didn't do it.
The surveillance around King Duncan's room magically disappeared around the murder. You're the only one with access to that room. You're a liar.
You're accusing me of treason here? How am I supposed to know what happened to the recording? This is outrage. I've only been living in the castle for less than 2 days.
Okay, Macbeth. Then where were you on the night of the murder?
After the party, I did what every normal person did. I went to sleep with my wife. you know, like sleep, like, yeah, you get it. But, yeah, she can attest to that too.
Why did you say that?
It's good.
You just keep on
It's fun.
talking.
It's a good, she wanted
Okay.
comedy. She wanted comedy.
But in your opinion, who do you think did it?
It's quite obvious if you two would open your
Hey, I
eyes.
gotta tell you to sit, stand up, sit back down.
All right, Mr. Tough Guy. All I'm saying is that if you opened your eyes, you could see that it was clearly probably the guard, because he has access to everywhere in the castle without being suspicious, because that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to guard the rooms. What do you use your head? Like, come on, like, it's also clear that the guard wasn't on good terms with the king because he wasn't allowed to go on his vacation, which I don't really care about, but the king got mad and it's not really my thing to do. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he probably killed the king.
Go.
Nice to meet you, Paul.
Yeah, you too.
Blart the guard. You must know that you are one of our leading suspects in our current investigation. What's your side of the story?
What? Investigation?
Don't play with us. This is getting a lot more physical.
I'm not playing with you. All I remember is drinking way too much and waking up in a cell. Did I do something under the influence?
Well, possibly. Looking at your resume, it says you were a mall cop working with surveillance before you became a guard for King Duncan.
Yep, you should have seen me on those Segway. After hour, my colleagues and I would have races, and it's amazing.
Let's get back to topic. Did you kill King Duncan or not? We have evidence that the surveillance cameras around King Duncan's room have been magically disappeared.
I was passed out, so no.
That's not an alibi.
The only reason I was drunk was because of the hot servant. Let me tell you something. She's real good at Pong. Some might say she's the queen of Pong. Maybe it's Macbeth.
Okay, you're playing with us. Throw him back in the hole. I just want to start off with my condolences.
Thank you, I guess.
Alright, let's get down to business. Malcolm, the reason we have called you here today is because we want to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to talk to me about?
Your father.
I honestly don't want to talk about him.
I understand, but we have to ask all possible suspects.
Suspects? What the hell did I do to deserve this? My father gets murdered and I'm getting blamed for it?
We never said you were getting blamed. We just want the murderer, and we need to ask everybody. Malcolm, where were you on the night of the murder?
I was in the castle, sleeping.
What room were you in?
Oh yeah, because they're labeled like a hotel. How am I supposed to know?
Listen here, punk. I don't need your smart-ass comments. Did you murder your father?
Okay, I'm sorry. No, I would never. I loved my father and respected him. I can never do that. I'm not sure what room I was in. I just took the one that was empty.
Did you see anything unusual or hear anything unusual?
Well, come to think of it, there was this one guard poking around. He was kinda out of place.
Do you have any sort of details?
Yeah, he goes by the name Paul Blart. He's Asian, about 6 foot. He had his hair swooped over and hanging over his face, which honestly looked kinda weird, but whatever.
Thank you, Malcolm. We will be in contact.
You're welcome. And no, we won't be in contact. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody, to the court of King Duncan. Our prime suspect, Paul Blart the guard.
Boo.
The jury has come to a decision on the murder case of King Duncan. You, Mr. Blart, have been found guilty of overnight child degree murder. Excuse me. You will be sentenced to death. Take him away, boys.
I didn't
Kill him!
Get
Kill him! Take him away!